So hello, so you're Bron, something like that. I said it correctly. Bron. So Bron, what is your connection with this inclusive work?
So I work for Hijinx, which is an inclusive theatre company and sort of academy set up in Wales. I've been there since November and I'm assistant producer. So we're out here with Grumpy Unicorns, which is a very playful and fun performance, and I'm glad we're bringing it. Yeah.
So is it your first time working with inclusion?
Yes, in terms of a theatre company that uses inclusion, in terms of like we're really specific about using that word. But I'd say inclusion has always been a part of my practice as a theatre person. Like, I'm queer myself, I'm non-binary, I'm a person who, if I'm in the room, I think it's inclusive in that way regardless. So I bring that into a space. But this is my first time where we've put that label to it and that we've said, okay, inclusion means this, and inclusion means working with people with learning disabilities, but at the same time you introduce yourself with your pronouns. There's all this sort of stuff that comes together. So yeah, first time, but not 100% first time either, if that makes sense.
I'm actually very happy that you bring that up, because yesterday also I was talking with Mael, a friend of mine, and we were talking also about like I don't know this word in English, but like how all the fights of all these collectives are actually the same in a way. It's like fighting for a safe place, for like a safe expression of oneself, like no matter what. Like, so do you find that they have these things in common, right? Like this.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's what, when we say we're working inclusively, I just think that means we're opening the door for all of that in that space. We are willing to admit that it might be hard because of this for you to be in a room and make theatre, or you might be telling us something really personal. We're going to hold that safely and we're all going to be here and listen. And I think that all theatre, all dance, all art should be made like that. But, because that's why sometimes it's frustrating to have to use a word like inclusion, because it separates it and sometimes it doesn't allow you to put the art first. Because Hijinx would call itself a theatre company. We're a theatre company. We just happen to work inclusively with actors with learning disabilities or autism. It's not, the art also comes first. They're professional actors, we're a professional company. And sometimes putting inclusive in it makes people go, oh, but you're doing it for them. And it's like, no, we're not doing it for them, we're doing it with them, and we're working together on professional work. But
Exactly. Sorry.
no, go on, no. What it does do is mean that I think for a lot of people, it means you do come to a room and you know that safety is there.
Beautiful, thank you. Because actually for Esmeralda, Esmeralda, the director of the festival, it's always very important, like she always says, like, I wish this festival was not existing, like, because we wouldn't need to call it, but we have to name things in order for them to exist. Otherwise, but eventually, like, the aim is that this inclusive word disappears. And it's just, we're talking about art, and we are all safe, and we are all allowed to be who we are, right?
Because at the end of the day, we're talking about art. Like, and I think that anything that deviates from that being the focal point makes it doesn't make it harder necessarily, but it is a bit frustrating when maybe the questions that you get asked for people who come to see the work aren't the questions you want, because you want questions that are rigorous about your process, about why you made this, about what you did, not necessarily, oh, was it really hard to work with these people? No, it was as hard as it's to work with anyone, because working with people's hard. So, useful but frustrating, but also great. But part of me is like, of course we want this to be the mainstream, right? Of course we want it to be art, blah, blah. I don't know if the safety would still exist. And I think that's why it does exist, isn't it? And that's why we're saying, oh, hopefully at some point in the future. But it takes this existing now, and it takes us being a bit grumpy about it being inclusion, even though we're champions of it, but being able to keep that critical voice and not just go, oh, we'll keep calling it this and we'll keep doing this, but remain aware, because we know what we're making.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thank you for your work and for all this fight. Thank you.
This year. Thank you.